Assalamu alaikum. So, alhamdulillah, first of all, let me start by thanking everybody, all the organizers of this amazing event. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you, everyone who contributed, everyone who's here. There's a lot of things you could be doing on Saturday night, but alhamdulillah, you chose to be here, so may Allah reward you and increase you. So I'm just going to share two pieces. And while I'm no stranger to Dar Al-Hijrah, alhamdulillah, shout out everyone here from Chitchai. It's good to see you all. Well, I'm no stranger to Dar Al-Hijrah, and I'm no stranger actually to performing on the stage. I am a lot more nervous today than usual. Reason being is I wrote a new piece that I haven't memorized yet, and this is my first time performing it. So inshallah, you'll help me with that. And anyone who knows anything about me writing, it's that I take forever to do so. So this has been a long time coming, so bear with me inshallah. But I won't start with this piece, I'll start with another one, which is very close to my heart. And we're talking about legacy. This is a piece about an individual who my legacy could not be possible without, and whose legacy I'm a part of, inshallah, and that's my mother. My mother's name is Hasana. A little introduction to the poem. My mother's name is Hasana. Hasana is a word in Arabic which is referred to, or which is used to refer to our good deeds, but also it means goodness, merit, something of virtue, of value. So this poem is about her, and it's called Hasana. Bismillah. Blinds flipped open. Sun rays shine across an aged forehead smooth as the day it was made. Mesmerized, so I stare into eyes that exemplify my natural inferiority to her. Eyes that unlock my every secret without the utterance of a sound. Demeanor that crushes mine to the ground. Words concise and profound that resound every time they are said. So she says, "What are you looking at?" I think to myself, if only you knew what I think of you. She taught me strength, the kind that drives a 21-year-old Ethiopian woman equipped with $600 American and a shoddy grasp of the English language to a place she chose to make home. On her own, in a place unknown, this foreigner in this foreign place made it very clear she was here to stay. She taught me how to love. To extend an open arm without expecting reciprocation, selfless even in times of desperation, taught by exemplifying ethic in every situation, and even when the odds seemed insurmountable, she still strived for perpetuation. See, even if I thanked you my entire life, I would not give you due gratification. This paradigm I am proud to call mine goes by mommy. From my very first breath, you were there. There through the accidents, coughs, colds, and fractured bones, stayed up with me all night when I had that TGIF food virus, when the best food was sitting right at home. This home in which you tirelessly toiled just to be met with moans and groans. This home you hold on your back just to feel its roots deteriorated. And I know I don't show it enough, but you are appreciated. So mama, please don't ever fret. If dad's the head of this family, you are his neck. You demand respect, and I stand correct. Did. You would do anything to keep us protected, so here's my apology, please do accept it. You cleaned the scabs and cuts and straightened out my faulty conduct, a product of heaven, right here on earth for the world to see, and the proof is right there under your feet. So I put myself below you in hopes to expound that the true way up is down. See, when I look at you, I see me. 4 years old, calling you at work just to see how your day is going. I think of the first days of school when I would beg your leg that I didn't have to go inside, not knowing in that classroom lied your dreams for me. Realized, when I look at you, I look into eyes that always uncovered the disguise of my lies, because that stinking little birdie always told you what I was trying to hide. That little birdie that connected your heart to mine, that made you come running anytime I cried. That little birdie that always seemed to pull me out the rough in a rush. And I know I don't say it enough, but I love you. Like this much. See, they say everybody gets a piece of their name. But mommy, you took the whole thing. You embody goodness in every sense of the word, a hasana from birth. May Allah reward the mother that put my mother onto this earth. This verse doesn't do her the slightest bit of justice, but oh Allah, if there is one thing this poem can accomplish, let it be just this. I ask you to make this a means of putting a smile on my mother's face and a means of making us all understand the mother's place. She asked me why I was looking into her eyes, and I thought to myself, Mommy, they told me that the eye of the storm is the safest place to be, so in this storm called life, it is in your eyes that I find my safety. To you, I am eternally dutiful. And I look into your eyes because it's the only place I find my reflection to be beautiful. She asked me what I was looking at, and I simply replied, a hasana. Jazakallah khair. Okay, so this is the nerve-wracking part. This is my new piece. Without any introduction. It's called Look at Me. Okay? Bismillah. So you guys are going to promise you're going to act like it's good even if it's not, right? Bismillah. If a tear falls from an eye in solitude, does it make a sound? Will its impact be felt or not before it hits the ground? Do rivers and oceans not find support from within the clouds? And if our cries are met with deafness, know that sound resounds. Start over. If a tear falls from an eye in solitude, does it make a sound? Will its impact be felt or not before it hits the ground? Do rivers and oceans not find support from within the clouds? And if our cries are met with deafness, know that sound resounds. The pen is a fountain of knowledge. But some of us source our water from poison springs that unhinge springs and leave lead in our children. You would think that our ink comes from flint streams. Let me ask you this. Would you ever know love if you never saw film screens? Let me ask you this. What's worse, living with nightmares or killed dreams? Now, whether or not jet fuel melts steel beams, PTSD remains unchanged, unmedicated because of pill schemes, and it still seems that hope is a farther cry still than justice. But would you plant a seed knowing that its harvest would nourish the starving while you never touched it? If you walked out and I was locked up for a crime neither of us committed, would you still object? Perhaps it isn't me, but the description I don't fit that suspect. So would you speak a word of truth if you knew it'd be your last? Would you accept prospect a future if it meant to forget your past? If the wrongs we see steal our ease, but the wrongs we breed give us sleep, will we ever know peace? And still the only peace of mind I find is when I begin to ask, if a tear falls from an eye in solitude, does it make a sound? Will its impact be felt or not before it hits the ground? Do rivers and oceans not find support from within the clouds? And if our cries be met with deafness, know that sound resounds. Give a man a fish, and you'll feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you'll feed him till BP spills his taxes, till the IMF sanctions his access to basic human dignity. He'll need to get it at a premium, so we'll make viral campaigns hoping that you're seeing him. He'll complain about his suffering and wonder why no one's believing him. Oh, we believe you, we just won't relieve you. We'll sell you empty promises that foreign borders will receive you, only to deceive you. Just consider that these same shores that you splash water in are the ones he lost his daughter in. One man's havens, another's vacation. Both were destinations, only one was travel and the other was final. Oh, I'm apolitical online because jobs look at it. Just know that when you turn a blind eye, God looks at it. No, this is the way in which your enemies be exposed. This is the hate to which you're genetically predisposed. This is the fate by which your complicity is presupposed. You're just an X and you're just an O. In a playbook to a game with winners already chose. Before the bailiff says all rise and the judge says hello, your case is already closed. You only dressed up because you came to see a show. The same song and dance where friends call themselves prosecution and defense, and you're the only foe. So watch your words or don't. Be tippy on your toes. It's all the same. Your guilt is a conclusion already foregone. They crucify us without any remorse, but we're not dying for your sins. We're dying because of them. See, when their founding fathers wrote justice for them all, the footnote hit a covenant. It said some of them. And what's most troubling is since the dawn of it, your government has been the perpetrator of such pain and suffering from which the world is still recovering. See, the education they inherited is the one you merited. They get an A and still sit under a mountain of regret. You get an A and still sit under a mountain of debt. So what good is your heart of brass if you got it by piracy? I mean, what's weaker, the house made of glass or the tower made of irony? What's weaker, the house made of glass or the tower made of ivory? The irony is that it was no surprise to me when they put the tyrant in the driver's seat. It's still the same car, they just put the tints down. And it's like when we heard the trumpet sound, we heard the trumpet sound. It's like when we heard the trumpet sound, we heard the trumpet sound. I mean, I know they love Trump's hate, but love trumps hate. So to all the little boys that inherited their father's insecurities and all the little girls that inherited their mother's wars, you repeat what you know, and so you reap what you sow. Add fighting the cure to your chores. See, they will try to crush us, and we will paint their shoes. They will leave us crumbs, and we will make it food. When the boss says, let them eat cake, we'll give them cake, boss. The payoff is that struggle breeds culture. Every weather has its season, every trendsetter its reason. Our food reflects us, that's why it's seasoned. See, on the days when you're reeling, when you get pushed off the deep end and you look to the ceiling, you're feeling like questioning the meaning. Look for healing and seeking to expound. If a tear falls from an eye in solitude, does it make a sound? Will its impact be felt or not before it hits the ground? Do rivers and oceans not find support from within the clouds? And if our cries are met with deafness, know that sound resounds. See, our prophet was progress. Their prophets are prophets. That's why we prescribe our beliefs to things that exhaust us. But when we subscribe to beliefs, why don't we ask what it costs us? See, 1,000 kings amongst men pale in comparison to one slave of God. So I'll take my chances. You take your odds. If it brings me near to a tear in solitude, keep your applause. Ya Allah, make my words active, not passive, so that they are as important to me backstage in practice as they are on stage in front of the masses. Don't make me practice what I preach, make me preach what I practice. How did I get distracted? How did I not catch it? You were there long before any other friend. When my uncle was bedridden and you saw it fitting that he leave this world grinning through the grief, you gave us relief as his kin. When it was written that a young Ethiopian woman would be smitten by a young Pakistani man with vision, you were taking care of me then. You had me in mind. I still don't know why. I still try to find my why. Maybe it's to bridge the divide. Going through the list of the favor you've shown me would be a poem with no end. So where do I get the gall to call upon any other? Even my own mother couldn't show me mercy to this extent. You knew how this poem would end before I knew how it would start. So before I write the story of my life, let it be you that I dedicate it to before the first page is typed. Let it be you that I have in mind with every line I recite. In you is my respite. And I have found that if a tear falls from an eye in solitude, it makes the loudest sound. Its impact is not lost on you even before it hits the ground. It is beloved to you and those you keep around. And just as rivers and oceans find support within the clouds, if our cries are met with deafness, in the heavens they'll resound. In the heavens will be found. In the heavens, look at us now. Jazakallah khair.